If you're looking to become elite in MLB the Show 25, you have come to the right place. I'm going to get you right and make sure you have all of the proper settings, equipment, and knowledge to become a top player in MLB the Show 25. You'll be able to beat people online, you'll be able to beat all of your friends, and you'll be able to compete and hopefully make World Series. Let's get into it. Now, I do a hitting tips video every year. I usually just go in order of what I think about, all of that stuff. This year, I'm doing things a little bit different. I'm gonna go from most important to least important. Now, that's not to say just listen to the first few tips and dip, because everything that I can give you, all the information will help and make you better. So I definitely suggest, if you wanna become the best you can possibly be, stay in the entire video and watch. But I do wanna stress how important certain things are, and I need you to know how important they are. The absolute most important thing you need if you are going to be good at MLB The Show, you are going to want Control Freaks. This is a GameSir controller on Xbox. I do think hitting and pitching on Xbox is a little bit better. The response time's a little bit better. It's slight. It's very minimal. If you're not a top player, a very good player, you might not notice it. But for some of us on Legend difficulty and maybe the new GOAT difficulty, Xbox does seem to be a little bit more beneficial to use. But this is a GameSir controller. The GameSir controller is known to have very good response time. You can program it and overclock it to make sure the response time's even lower. You can get these Control Freaks. Now, Control Freaks are the most important equipment you can get. It is the most important thing to get better at this game because it truly just helps limit your mistakes. Control Freaks and precision rings. What the precision rings are gonna do is limit your movement. So you can't slam your PCI when it comes to, certain regions in the zone. That is what's going to help you. You wanna make sure you have the precision rings. It'll come with green, purple, and black. Black will be the most firm. And that's why we are using it, because I like to have, my space of mistakenness limited. And that's why I got that right there. This is the galaxies. There's clear galaxies, there's purple galaxies. You can go to controlfreak.com and use code YFK if you do want them. So go get Control Freaks, use code YFK to get a 10% discount. Make sure you get your galaxies, you can get high rise and low rise, and get your precision rings. Now, another thing you're probably gonna want is a monitor. I'm not gonna say probably want. Honestly, if you have the money and you can get it and you want to take gaming seriously and you are on a TV, it's not gonna work. The response time's too crazy. Go look into a 1 millisecond response time monitor, or even less than that if you can afford that. It's really important, man. The response time is what's most important in this game. This is one of the games that requires the most hand-eye coordination, unfortunately. So when you don't have the proper equipment, it's just making it impossible to play. Now let's get into our settings. Hitting, you're going to be hitting on zone if you want to become the best you can be. This is where you have most control over the outcome of your hits and where your bat is going to be swinging. You're going to be on buttons. When it comes to this stuff, don't even worry about it. Guest pitch is off. That doesn't get affected in online gameplay. So turn PCI anchor to preset. I'll show you why after. And if you don't like it, you don't have to use it and you'll never notice it's there anyways. So just turn it on. Keep that at middle center. I will show you guys after. PCI anchor dots. Go ahead and leave that on for now just so you can see it. And then once I show you about PCI anchor, you can choose to come here, turn it off later if you don't like the display that it shows. PCI, you're gonna keep that on. Plate coverage indicator. That's what we mean when we say PCI. And what I want you to do to get you the most comfortable, I want you to go none here. You're gonna go diamonds, none, and Starfighter. This is something that helped me really get back into the zone of hitting, and I think it's something that will help you guys. I can go over other PCI options that might help you as well, but for right now, this is something that I would like you to try. You're gonna go to yellow and you're gonna go to 60%. This is my PCI, and if you're new to this game, I would like you to try it, and then you can go in a custom practice, which I'm gonna show you about, and you're gonna figure out, what you like, what camera views and stuff like that. Base running, we'll stick to hitting right now. I don't want to get you too overwhelmed. If you guys feel this helps you and you guys want tips on pitching, other things, then you can tell me in the comments and I'll make it happen. But for right now, you're gonna go to difficulty. Let's not worry about difficulty for right now. I have it on GOAT because when I do custom practice, I want it on the hardest setting possible. If you're practicing and it's at the hardest setting possible, every game you go into after that's gonna feel easier. And it's all about feeling comfortable. So I'm gonna keep it on GOAT, make sure I'm on top of my shit. We're gonna keep it there. Offense. You're going to be trying one of two things, strike zone or strike zone high. Don't worry about any other hitting camera, strike zone or strike zone high. If there's certain weaknesses you have for strike zone, like you swing at too many pitches low, you swing at too many pitches in the dirt, try strike zone high. It helps you tell the break of the pitch a little bit better. I'll be showing you what both of them look like. In play view, medium's best this year, so you can see everything. You can see where the ball's going. You can see all that stuff. Keep it like that. And that should be good for right now. Let's go ahead and save those so you can have that. And then let's go ahead and go into custom practice down here. You're going to go to custom practice. And what I want you to do, pick the Dodgers on this side. You're going to pick the Dodgers. And then you are going to just pick right here. You're going to go with like American League All-Stars. Go to a place where you're going to be able to see the ball really well. I would suggest Ship It, and I suggest you play at Ship It. This year, that's probably what's playing the best. I would definitely suggest playing at Ship It. It's the best results for the game that I've seen so far. Now, the reason why I'm having you pick this type of practice mode, you're going to go to practice batting type, and the pitcher is going to be Ohtani. You want to face Ohtani because Ohtani is probably the pitcher you're going to be facing the most often in ranked right now. And even if you're not facing him, he has a sinker and a cutter, and that's what people are looking for in their starting pitchers. So that's what you want to practice against. I am going to use Juan Soto, and we are going to start practice, right? Now, let's say you're struggling against fastballs. Let's say you can't catch up to fastballs. What you can do is you can turn all of these off and only have fastballs, so you get used to that timing on GOAT difficulty, Legend difficulty, whatever difficulty you need to get down. Let's say you're okay with fastballs. Let's say you're like most people, and the sinker cutter combo is something you're not good with, and you have trouble, you know, deciphering between those. You can do both of them, and you can do pitch location, hitting RB. So if you can't hit inside sinkers and cutters, or sorry, it's a lefty, so it would be here. You can make him only throw strikes right here to practice. Them adding this a couple years ago made custom practice so much better, and it truly leaves you with no excuse but to be able to improve on certain things. When I'm doing batting practice, I don't want to sit there and watch waste pitches. I always make sure that every pitch is going in the strike zone, but I do want every pitch being thrown, because even though he's throwing seekers and cutters, and that's something I want to practice against, they're going to throw off speed too. You got to be able to tell the difference of it. So there we go. We got that. Ambush hitting, real quick, I'll tell you, they just added it this year. With ambush hitting, you can use your right stick and choose to go inside. That's the fastest pitch I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit, GOAT difficulty is going to be a problem. Because the pitch did go on the inside, my PCI would have been a difficulty easier in PCI size. So that would have helped us. If you go on the left side and it doesn't go to the outside, basically your PCI will shrink 2 difficulties. I'm trying to show you right now. Hopefully he throws an inside pitch, and I'll just swing down the middle so you can see the size of the PCI. Okay, so watch the PCI size if it's on the right side. Look how much smaller it is because you guessed it wrong. So if you want to use ambush hitting, just know there is serious risk to it. And to me, it feels like there's more risk than reward, so I'm probably staying away from it. But you can try it and see what you like, and see if it helps you improve. Just so you see, this is GOAT difficulty. If I was about to be in a tournament, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to practice on GOAT difficulty. Now, in the tournament, I'm most likely not going to be on GOAT difficulty unless, obviously, I'm in the highest division, then I would be. But this just makes it where, let's say I was playing a Legend tournament, practicing on this for 10 to 15 minutes would immediately get me so locked in on Legend. Jesus, that was nice. But playing on GOAT difficulty for just 10 to 15 minutes like this, getting the reps, getting the pitch speeds, feeling all that, would immediately get me locked in for Legend. If you know you're going to be playing on Hall of Fame that day and you want to get locked in, go warm up on Legend, 1 difficulty above where you're going to be playing on, and, you know, it'll get you locked in. This is my first time taking swings on GOAT difficulty, and it's crazy how fast this ball is moving and how small the PCI is. But yeah, so this isn't a practice session for me though. Let's say, you know, what I would have you do so you're not overwhelmed. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience, or you're definitely trying to improve. Okay, we're on All-Star now. The PCI is a lot bigger, but it's still gonna go in this area. It's still gonna be an automatic strike. He might dot him, but This is the best way to go about practicing, especially on All-Star, these difficulties. You could choose your location, have them spam that location, and just so you can see how it works real quick, practice type, batting, pitch frequency. Let's say I just wanted to practice, you know, hitting cutters inside. You're gonna do that. You're gonna uncheck these, have them only throw cutters inside. Yeah, so now you would just be practicing cutters inside if that's something you struggle against. You know, it's important to be able to practice against your weakness, and that's one thing that this custom practice really does well. Now, the next thing I want to go over with you guys is that PCI anchor thing I went over with you. A lot of people struggle on, you know, getting their PCI up on high pitches, and, you know, or some people drop their PCI a lot. So what you want to do is you can hold your L stick up and click it, and it'll lock your PCI in that position, and you could start with a head start in that position. Okay, so if you struggle with those high pitches and you don't have trouble adjusting low, you can start up here, it'll lock it in, and if they do throw a high pitch, you already have a head start towards it, and if they don't, you can just adjust to it. If you have trouble, you know, dropping your PCI and you don't want to have to worry about moving your PCI too much, you can start it low and adjust upwards. You can go inside, you can go up and inside, you can go low and inside. You could do whatever. I would mess around with it. I would feel what feels most comfortable for you. I personally, ever since I've started playing this game, I'm all about reaction. I don't guess anything, I just react. So I've always kept my PCI in the middle. I don't want to be biased towards any side of the plate. I just want to be able to sit there, adjust, handle my business, hit tanks, do all the good stuff. But that's what PCI anchor does. If I'm in a real slump, I will start my PCI up here, just especially on like legend, just to kind of have, you know, some leeway on high fast pitches. That's basically what you're gonna do. Once you're done with that, if you want to really go overkill, you can go practice off a lefty, you know, practice off of different types of guys, a Blake Trinan, a Tanner Scott, whatever you may be struggling against. You could be struggling lefty-lefty. If you're struggling lefty-lefty, you might be struggling on, oh, he doesn't have a sinker anymore. But it could be fast, you know, fastballs inside. Then all of a sudden, you have a way to practice against fastballs inside. You could up the difficulty to make it harder, but you can never get enough practice. Clearly, I need more practice. But that's the custom practice. That's what it does for you. I would also, if you want to test out different cameras, I would do it in this mode so you have nothing to lose. This is what Strike Zone looks like. Strike Zone High looks like. It's a little bit, it rises a little bit. It looks a little bit more zoomed out. But if they do throw a changeup or a curveball low, you can really see it break. It's easier to tell. The only downside is it may feel like the ball's getting to you a little bit quicker, but that's up to you guys to decide. I like both of them. I play pretty well on both of them, I would say. Whether I'm on Strike Zone High or Strike Zone, it really doesn't matter. I feel pretty confident, but if I'm going through a little mini slump, then I will switch to Strike Zone High. And, you know, vice versa. If I'm on Strike Zone High and I need to switch and I feel like I'm in a slump, I'm going to go to regular Strike Zone. So it's a pretty cool... It's cool to have options, you know? I mean, we are just hitting so many nukes. Okay, now you're gonna exit custom practice, and I wanna show you something that really gives you the feeling of playing in a competitive mode without any consequences of losing a BR run, without losing a game of ranked. And this also is a game mode that progresses in difficulty and really teaches you the discipline of taking balls and not swinging at any dumb shit and not striking out pretty much. This is called Challenge of the Week, and you could also win prizes while doing it. And I'm going to show you how. So the current challenge, you're facing Roger Clemens. You're using Manny Ramirez. Pretty cool. And I'm going to show you exactly what you do. All right. So here we go. We're in this challenge mode, Challenge of the Week. And what you're going to do is you're just trying to hit the ball as well as you can, and you're trying to get streaks together without getting any... You don't want foul balls, really. You do it. If there's 2 strikes, then it's okay to foul ball. But you don't want any strikes, because once you get a strike, once you get a called strike or you get any type of swing and miss, your streak will reset. So that's what you don't want. And same with outs. You don't want any of that. You want to take balls. Taking balls is the most important. I love taking balls IRL and in this challenge because the multiplier will go up. The multiplier will go up 2 every single time, and getting the multiplier up is how you get the most points. If you have a high multiplier and you hit a tank, you're looking good. Even hits like that, you really want fly balls. Fly balls are what get you the most points. And this is just a way, I'm going to explain it to you a little bit more once the difficulty goes up. You'll notice we went from rookie to veteran. I wish the lighting was a little bit different. I wish this wasn't at Fenway, but it is what it is. Fenway has the worst batters I've ever seen in my entire life. So as you get hits, you'll see the meter start going up, right? The difficulty veteran, you see the meter just went up. It's going to keep growing in difficulty. And once you get out, it'll reset the entire difficulty. All right, so we already have 2 strikes. So now it's protect mode. If we get up to legend difficulty, we are going to be using contact swing damn near, because all that matters is you don't strike out. As long as you don't strike out, you're stacking up points, but you do not want to strike out. Now that's just for the challenge. That's how you get the most points in the challenge, which if you're playing this right now for the purpose I'm telling you to play it, it's not about winning the challenge. It's going to be hard to win the challenge of the week. What you're doing is practicing getting reps against a good pitcher. So all you're doing is practicing having competitive at-bats, fouling balls off, making sure you're being disciplined with certain pitches, you know, borderline pitches, recognizing how certain pitches break, practicing on higher difficulties, progressing and everything. Like, this is the best way to possibly practice without any risk. You don't have to pay stubs to enter this, but you don't have to risk your record. You don't have to risk a BR run. This is literally risk-free. And just like that, my streak is ruined. So that's what I'm talking about. You could do that, get all the way up to legend difficulty, and really grind that out to get better at this game. Now, one thing that I want to talk to you guys is about my approach when it comes to MLB the Show, and I've always been huge on this. Sometimes I get a little sloppy with it if I'm just playing a game. It happens a lot in BR when I'm streaming. There's a lot of distractions, a lot of things I'm focusing on. I'm doing a lot of stuff, right? But when I'm really needing to get locked in, if I'm playing a game, you know, if I'm undefeated and ranked, you guys will see me get in a different zone. And what I'm doing is, for one, I am making sure that every pitcher that comes into the game, I'm going to torture their pitch count. I'm going to make sure that I look at everything. I mean, it doesn't matter how good it is. If I know that I could use, you know, a little bit of patience and I might be getting too swing heavy, I'll take to 2 strikes damn near. But I'm definitely taking until they throw a strike. And I'm making sure I'm going to every inning thinking I want this pitcher to throw at least 25 pitches. That's why you'll see me in my games. I'll say a lot of times 25 pitch inning. And the way I'm doing that is I am purposely trying to, I'm not thinking about hitting tanks. I'm not thinking about, you know, having a 10-run inning. I am thinking about drawing a walk in every at-bat. I'm trying to get a full count, and then I'm trying to either, if they're throwing a strike, I'm trying to put the ball in play or foul it off. And I'm trying to keep going until they make a mistake and either give me a pitch to smack that's right down the middle or in a hittable spot, or they just straight up walk me, because there is nothing that's going to mess your opponent up more than that. So go into every inning thinking, you know what, I have a challenge for myself. I'm trying to get this pitcher to throw 25 pitches. You will be shocked how much it helps you offensively. Not just be patient, it'll help your offense when you're hitting as well, like your actual contact and your actual PCI placement, because you're watching so many pitches. Each pitch you watch, you're seeing more about your opponent's approach when it comes to pitching. You're seeing more how the ball's breaking. You're seeing everything. And you can even track the ball with your PCI while you're doing it. Keep your hand off the X button if you want to really be patient, not swing, and just track the ball with the PCI. And that'll help you get a lot better, man. I still do that to this day. You'll see it in my videos. It's something that I'm really big on. Lineup construction is also something pretty big. I want to make sure you guys know how I build my lineup so you can know how to build yours. I know my weaknesses. If I'm not on my tip-top shape, I can struggle lefty-lefty sometimes. Now, when I'm playing well, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to be fine against anything. But if I'm not in my tip-top shape, I will struggle against lefty-lefty, and I do want somebody available in an emergency if I do that. So this is how I construct my lineup. With that being said, Mike Trout batting leadoff, Carlos Beltran batting second, Gil Hodges batting third. Now let me say, this has nothing to do with the players. I'm talking about righty, lefty, switch, platoon bats, how I'm spacing them, okay? I got a righty in Mike Trout. I got a switch hitter in Carlos Beltran, because no matter what, I want my strongest hitters to be 1 and 2. I want Mike Trout because I know he's going to either hit a tank or get on base for me most of the time. And Beltran, he's going to be able to drive him in. I'm going to have the confidence that if Trout gets on base, Beltran's going to drive him in. Then I got another righty batting third. I got Juan Soto batting cleanup. I don't want him too close to another lefty because I don't want somebody to just assume, oh, I'll put in Chapman and have him face a bunch of lefties in a row. Nope, you're going to have to make that decision. If you're going to put in a lefty against Juan Soto, you're going to have to face a bunch of guys that hit lefty as well right after him. So I got Juan Soto right there, and if I need an emergency, I make sure to have multiple guys, Aaron Judge or Don Baylor, to pinch hit for them. Same with Jason Kipnis. I got Lindor. I got guys that can go in for him. You know, I could put in Lindor there, switch him with Ketel. Ketel plays second. Bada bing, bada boom, done. I always make sure I have options. I'm never going to be trapped. I'm never going to feel like I'm in a tough situation. Then after the lefty, we have the switch, the righty, the switch, another lefty, and then a switch. So we have at least 3 spaces between each lefty, and that's what I want. I have a switch, so, you know, no matter what, they're not going to get comfortable facing the same-handed batter multiple times. I'm just not going to allow my opponent to ever feel comfortable, and that's what I want you guys to do. So make sure you're dedicating your lineup and using every space wisely to cater to your weaknesses, to cater to your strengths, whatever need be, because it's really going to help you, man. I can't tell you how much it's helped me. And also, one thing that I do recommend sometimes, instead of Lindor, you could have Ellie there, and make sure you have a 99 speed guy there. If you ever need a clutch pinch runner, you can do that. And that's something that I was doing for a long time, but I haven't used a pinch runner in a while. I stopped doing it. Maybe because I just got less focus, but now that I'm planning on playing competitively again, I'm gonna have to really dive in and see how I go about my lineups. And you guys are gonna see me every step of the way. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them. But most likely somebody in the community will answer them. So good thing about my community, everybody's always there for each other. I love it, and I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the hitting tips video, and I hope you guys reach your highest goals and your highest potential in MLB the Show 25. We're gonna have a great year. Let's have fun.